What's up, guys? So we worked some entries into our Kimura position and our Kimura trap. We're going to go over a couple of different ways we can finish from there and utilize that position. So we'll start down in the Kimura trap. We'll go side control here, just right here. Yep. From here, other side, we set up the Kimura, and the first one that we did, we were kind of attacking on this side rather than going all the way around to attack that chair sit. So we're going to start here, just like this. Now, really common, my partner's not just going to concede this arm. They're going to grab their pants, they're going to grab their belt, they're going to grab their gi. Okay, and from here, that's where we're going to use this elbow on the forearm to press down and through, get his wrist down, and we can start to isolate and go to that Kimura. However, sometimes you get those really strong guys, great grip, you just can't press and break this grip. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slide down, we're going to start to set up our Kimura trap. We're going to bring this back knee nice and tight to the chest. We're going to bring this leg up and over, right? This is kind of like your traditional Kimura. You see this a lot in like old school or traditional jiu-jitsu, where guys will get here and then they'll connect to the elbow. They'll bring the grip up, or if they have a grip here, they'll go down and up and away. So they'll go like this, and then you can finish more traditionally. However, some of those traditional attacks I find a little difficult to set up on like sport jiu-jitsu or competitive jiu-jitsu folks. So when I get into this position, I have a unique attack that I like to do from here. Let's just turn your legs this way. What I do from here is, right now you can see I'm covering Ryan's head. That's really critical. I don't want him to see what I'm going to do with my hands here. Right now, Ryan feels this position on his arm. It feels like a threat. It's very tight. He can feel that constriction, and I want him to think the whole time that his arm is stuck here, because if he realizes at any moment that he's not tied up, he can try to pull his arm out. So what I'm doing here is I'm curling everything in. I'm going to take my underhooking arm like this, not the one grabbing his wrist, the one grabbing mine. I'm going to flare my wrist over the top, and I'm going to let go with this one, okay? Because Ryan can't see, he feels this, he thinks his arm is still being grabbed, and I'm kind of pulling in on it so there's some tension. He thinks his arm is still stuck. It's not stuck. If he wanted to, all he has to do is just pull his arm out, right? Because this is a very weak grip. You can also do this by like grabbing your gi, grabbing your belt, but I find it very impractical, right? And it's more setup than it's worth. So I just come here, I do a quick switch, and now I'm going to take this leg and I'm going to step all the way up and over. Notice how my palm is facing up. That's important because I'm going to grab my thigh. My fingers are going to go over the top. So I'm going to go like this. Okay? You'll notice his hand is underneath the pit of my knee, and I'm going to pull my heel nice and tight like this. So I'm pinching my knees. My heel is coming in nice and tight. Ryan's already uncomfortable because it's a bit of like a compression, right? It's a bit of like a bicep or a tricep. Wrist crunch curl. So now I'm going to start to bring my butt out this way. I like to use my hand to control my partner's legs here, because if they freak out, we don't want to end up falling over just yet. I want to control a little bit, so I like to grab here, and I'm going to use my foot on the ground after I bring my heel in to lift my butt up, and I'm going to start to bring his wrist down and around this way. So even if he has a grip here, right, he can have the strongest grip in the world. I'm going to put all my weight through my hamstring, which is on his wrist. So I'm going to go like this. Okay, notice how his wrist is already starting to travel. Watch how I'm going to start to turn and look at my partner. I can now post on the mat, and it's like I'm trying to sit my butt cheek on the mat while keeping my knees pinched and my heels tight right here. Okay, and that's a shoulder lock. So basically what's happening, the bend in the arm is here, and I'm going to use my butt here to sit and force his wrist up and around the corner there. Let's turn you to face the camera, right, so they can see this side. Here we get into this traditional Kimura position. My knee is right in front of the arm here. A lot of things can happen. He can have his arm grabbing like this. He can have his hand inside grabbing his hands. He can use this hand to grab his lapels. This hand can be doing all sorts of things. But the biggest thing is I have to have this leg free, and I have to hide his head, right? I don't want him to see what's happening. So I'm going to be in something like this. Controlling the wrist. I'm going to flare, pointing my palm up towards the ceiling, leaning my weight slightly to the left so this leg is light. Okay, I'm going to throw this leg up and over, catch my hamstring with my palm. My fingers need to go over the top, not underneath. So don't do this, right? Not like that, like this. Okay, look how his wrist is underneath of my hamstring in the pit of my knee. Heel in nice and tight. Grab the pants for a connection. Start to pivot. Okay, from here, I can switch from the pants, because now if he bridges up into me and we fall over, he's going to still end up in like this crush position, but all my weight is on top of him, so it's very difficult for him to explode in this position. Here, there's the tap. If Ryan bridges, right, he explodes into me. Here, I'm going to continue to turn. and I'll still finish the submission. Okay, we call that the soul crusher.